to this beat.
Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you the gospel Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. We got to go with today, y'all. I said we got to go with today, y'all. We talking about the future of South Carolina women's basketball. The future of South Carolina women's basketball, the three-time national champions. And we're going to focus in on two. No, we're not two. We ain't focus on two. We're going to focus on three. Three potential stars for the South Carolina women's basketball team in this upcoming 2025-2026 season. May's almost over. I can't wait for May to be over. Well, first of all, I can't wait for May to be over because my birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up next Thursday. Big 5-0, about to turn up. It's about to be on. It's going to be disgusting. I got to say that right now. It's going to be disgusting what's going to go down for my birthday next week. It's going to be, wifey already got bail money out. She got bail money just in case, things get a little too wild. So if you don't hear from your man, Captain Will, make sure you Google Captain Will. And check and see if I'm laid up somewhere overseas somewhere. So it's gonna be terrific. I can't wait. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Big 5-0. A lot of people didn't make it. A lot of people didn't make it to 50. And right now, I ain't made it to 50 yet. I'm still 49. But with that being said, we better party while we are still here on Earth. We got to party while we're still on Earth. Some folks don't party when they're on Earth. They keep pushing to the right, push to the right. But Captain Will say we're gonna celebrate. We're going to celebrate. Oh, Wife Will got some things planned. Captain Will himself got some things planned for next week. But before that happens, we talk about South Carolina women's basketball. And South Carolina women's basketball has been a powerhouse for some time, And today we're just going to talk about, just the last 5 years. Just the last 5 years of South Carolina women's greatness. But we got to say what's next, right? What's next? What's next for the South Carolina women's basketball team? With this video, talks about the future of the program, highlighting three players who have the potential not to be just all SEC. We're talking about even greater heights. We're talking about all American. We're talking about potential top 5, top 7, picks in upcoming WNBA drafts. There's some greatness in South Carolina, and it's not even about the transfer portal today, because we ain't talking about the transfer portal. We're talking about the players who've been here, who's put in their work, and who are looking to star. Now, not yesterday, not 2 years from now. We're talking about star now. But just like we always do, we got to look at the legacy of dominance for the South Carolina women's basketball team. So, if we go backwards, we have this past season, 2025 season, and we look at the previous season. We went to the national championship game. Okay, we went 35-4, 15-1 in conference, 15-1 in conference. That is amazing. We look at the year prior to that, 2024, where we went 38-0, national championship, greatness on top of great. After losing so many players, after losing 6 players, went 38-0. Uncommon, y'all. Uncommon. Previous to that, we talking about 2023 season where we went 36-1. Another national championship game. Actually, it wasn't a national championship game. When I started thinking about the Iowa game, when I started thinking about that game, the only thing I think about is Caitlin Clark. I'm not gonna say that I'm over that loss yet. I'm not gonna say I am. I know Don Staley got this thing where you get 24 hours to get over losses and then you move on. Well, I'm still not over that. We should have beat Iowa. We should have been champions that year, because if we would have played LSU, good and damn well we would have beat the brakes off of LSU in the national championship. But it's all good. I'm working on it. I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself to get over those things that needs to be get over with, okay? 36-1. A loss to Iowa. But we got that ass next time, though, didn't we? We sure did. We got them. 2022 was a 35-2 national championship. 2021, 26-5. Then you didn't get a national championship in 2020, 21, but that was still a successful season by the South Carolina women's basketball team. So 2025, UConn was obviously the best team in the country. National championship game. 2024, undefeated season by the South Carolina women's basketball team. National championship win. 2023, okay? National championship game again. So that's 3 times in a row South Carolina were, I keep saying, damn, because it keep messing me up because we should have beat LSU. We should have beat Iowa and played LSU. I'm just messing up. It's still working with me. It still gets me aggravated. Still upset. Because in my mind, during that year, it was the best 2 teams in South Carolina and Iowa. Those were the 2 best teams that year. Make no mistake about it. Those were the 2 best basketball teams in the country that year. It wasn't LSU, and they ended up winning the chip. So sometimes where you had those situations where the best team don't necessarily win the national championship. That year, South Carolina was the best team in the country, and we ended up losing in the Final Four. Like I said, I'm still working on myself. But we look at the overall picture, those 5 years and the cumulative wins and the cumulative losses. South Carolina won 93% of the basketball games over the last 5 years. South Carolina won 95% of their conference games in the last 5 years. So we peeled the onion back of the last 5 years. You're talking about 2 national championships. You're talking about 4 regular season SEC championships. You're talking about 4 regular season, 4 SEC tournament championships. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable for a basketball team over the last 5 years. So if you talk about dynasty and you talk about legacy and you talk about all those great things and talk about best teams over the course of years. Now we ain't talking about the 80s. We ain't talking about the 90s. We ain't talking about the early 2000s because I know some cats going to be saying, oh, yeah, ain't championships. Well, I just got to say this right here. Now, I'm just looking at data for the last 5 years. The last 5 years, South Carolina's been the best basketball team in the country by a margin, okay? That's all I'm saying. But with that being said, it's not about 5 years ago. It's not about 4 years ago. It's not about 3 years ago. It's about the future. But in order to set the stage for the future, we got to set the stage on what happened last year. Now, with the South Carolina basketball team last season, losing the national championship game, we ended up with the number 1 strength of schedule. We ended up with finishing second in net ranking. We were the second best basketball team in the country. UConn, South Carolina. But this wasn't the best basketball team in the land. This time last year, I was saying that South Carolina's women's basketball team for the 2024-2025 season was going to be the best basketball team that we've ever had. That was a lie. That didn't come to fruition. We played the toughest schedule. We did. But I found myself making up excuses for the schedule when the play wasn't too right. Okay? That, as it states right now, the best basketball team that we've ever had was that 38-0 basketball team. Not because they were undefeated, but because they were number 3 in offensive rating, number 1 in defensive rating. Okay? If we look at the UConn team from this past season, UConn was number 1 in offensive rating and number 1 in defensive rating. They were legit, just like we were legit during that season. This past season, we weren't number, 3 in offensive rating. No, we were number 5 in offensive rating. Okay? That's not a big difference, but hear me out now. Hear me out. South Carolina was 13th in field goal percentage. Okay? That's great. South Carolina was 13th in assist to turnover ratio. That's really good. That's really good. 17th in offensive rebounding percentage. Now we starting to fall off a little bit now. We talk about 17th. That ain't Carolina basketball. We were, 17th and fewest turnovers per game. In that regard, that is solid. That is good. Then we're talking about 32nd in assists per game. Yeah. Y'all saw how the season went. Y'all saw some times where it looked a little raggedy on offense. And then it goes to a certain point where we were 32nd in the country. Again, we measuring against 361 basketball teams across the land. But in real talk, we ain't. Because there's a lot of, average basketball teams out of the 362. There's a lot of average teams, a lot of bad teams, but we're talking about the top echelon. When you have Carolina finishing 32nd in assists per game, no. We can't do that. We can't do that. We were 41st in 2-point percentage. 41st? That ain't Carolina basketball. We were 50th in free throw percentage over the course of the season. Now, we look at legacy and free throw percentages over the last 10 years. That was damn sure not Carolina basketball. That wasn't. That was the buzzword is uncommon. That was uncommon. But we finished 50th in the country in free throw percentage, which made up for our 3-point percentage. Carolina finished 66 in 3-point percentage last season. The year prior, Carolina was third in the country, shooting 39.5% from the 3-point line. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Carolina basketball. Our offensive rating was terrific. But we came to clutch games against really good basketball teams, a little bit desired now. Carolina could always, fall back on our defense, right? National championship 2 years ago. I can say that now. 2 years ago, Carolina was number 1. Well, this past season, Carolina was number 13 in defensive rating. Yeah, we fell out. You talking about number 1 in the Billboard charts last season to dropping down to 13. No. There's a lot of different reasons because of that. 13 just don't sound good. 17, it just don't sound good. We talk about Carolina Gamecocks. We talk about defense. We talk about Don Staley, and that is the dog in Carolina. Dog. But I wasn't us. I really wasn't. On the defensive end, we saw some things I didn't like. I didn't like at all. We were third in 2-point percentage allowed. That is terrific. Terrific basketball. We were 6th in field goal percentage allowed. That is really, really good. Then we drop. You go from number 1 in blocks per basketball game by almost the previous season by almost 2 blocks over the closest team. Where Carolina was 7th in blocks per game. We can call that the Camila Cardoza, the Aaliyah Boston effect, because we did not have a dominant big. And we talking about dominant. We talking about 6'5" or more ruling the paint. We ain't had that. We still finished 7th in the country. Snide Fagan led the team in blocks. I think it was 1.5 per basketball game. Ashlyn Watkins was out a good portion of the season. She would have helped out tremendously. But it is what it is. What brought down our defensive rating? We were 65th in 3-point percentage allowed. That's ungood, y'all. That's ungood. We weren't running players off the 3-point line. Some players, Easy Foot, lit us up thoroughly. We had no answer for Easy Foot and some other 3-point shooters across the country against the South Carolina Gamecocks. You talking about 66. That is average. 66 in the country. We were 69th in steals per basketball game. Don't like that stat at all, especially when you in the last season, you talking about Malaysia Fulwiley, you talking about Raven Johnson. You should be able to get some steals. We were 69th in the country. We got to do better. If we want to go back on top and plant our flag and saying we the national champions and be the 4-time national champions, we got to do better on defense. I ain't never thought I'd be saying some mess like that South Carolina got to play some better defense. But that is the case. That is the truth. Carolina got to play better defense. But the stars from last year's season, the stars, if you will, we had 3 players drafted into the league. You know, Malaysia Forward transferred out. You gotta. That's why we got to identify new stars because Powerhouse gone. Powerhouse Atlanta Dream. She's doing great things for them. And for last year we talk about she had 980 minutes. Because the little thing we're going to talk about a little different this year. We look at minutes per basketball game, but you have a player like Carolina. I'm looking at cumulative minutes now, and Powerhouse played the most minutes out of any player on this team. So we got to replace 980 minutes. That panned out to 9 points. She shot 44% from the field, and she shot 37%? Yeah, 37% from the 3-point line. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, had a steal, 1 turnover. Very good, not great. Offensive rating. The offensive rating was 116.9. That's off from what it was the previous year. This is the problem with South Carolina this past season than it was in previous seasons. Everybody's offensive rating numbers were down, with the exception of Chloe. Everybody else is down. Now, what Powell improved on from previous year was a defense. Defensive rating was 86.2. And Atlanta Dream is seeing how good she is defensively. But 980 minutes is 980 minutes. Second was Breezy Hall. She played 918 minutes with South Carolina. That equated to 6 points. That equated to 38% from the field, 38% from 3-point line. She got you 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a turnover for basketball game. Exceptional defense. She averaged her offensive rating was 111.9. A defensive rating was 88.2. She always drew the best perimeter defender. This is why she got drafted into the W. The next one is Sanaa Fagan, another player who got drafted to the W. 772 minutes. Not 900 and something, 772 minutes during the season. 8 points, shot over 60% from the field, averaged 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. Had an offensive rating, solid offensive rating, 113.0, and defensive rating of 80.3. Sanaa Fagan has not gotten her chance yet in the W. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as of this taping, she's played in 1 basketball game and played 1 minute. Okay, her time will come. Patience, young grasshopper, your time will come. For a while, it went to LSU with all kinds of fanfare, and she took along with her 737 minutes played by University of South Carolina. Played on the University of South Carolina this past season. She averaged 12 points, shot 43% for the field, 26% from 3. Okay, she got you 3 rebounds, couple assists, averaged 2 steals, 1 block, and 2 turnovers per basketball game. Offensive rating was solid. Okay. Defensive rating was really good. Stars that are gone from this basketball team. The introduction of rising stars for Carolina is just so important for this upcoming season because of the minutes that we played by 3 WNBA players and 4 future WNBA players. It is paramount. It is over. We have to. We have to keep the high standards. It's not going to phase out. The standard is the standard. I love that phrase. The standard is the standard. Use that in military. Standard's the standard. The standard ain't going to drop off. Other things might drop off, but the standard is what it is. No need to lower the standards for some folks just so they can feel happy, feel better about themselves. Hell no. Not a fan of those participation trophies that folks get. Not a fan of participation trophies that kids get. Everybody don't deserve a trophy. Everybody don't deserve a trophy just participating. No, you don't deserve that. No, you got to win. If you don't win, you got to get at least top 2, top 3. Otherwise, go try harder. We are winners. Carolina are winners. We're not losers. That's why we don't deal with losses very well. We are spoiled. Yeah, we are. But Dawn Staley did it. She did it. So we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. We spoiled. We gonna always be spoiled, and it's gonna continue on as long as Don Staley there. So that ain't gonna change. So the question: who are the players to watch for this upcoming season? Who are the players to watch? Are these players, these three players that I'm getting ready to talk about right now? Are they gonna take us to the promised land? Are they gonna take us to the championship? Are we gonna be celebrating in Phoenix, Arizona? Is Captain Will gonna be taking off his t-shirt and swinging around like a helicopter in Phoenix, Arizona? Because I was ready in Tampa, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But what is going to happen? Is it going to happen this upcoming season? Number one, Chloe Kitts. Chloe Kitts is our best player on this basketball team. I'm not going to say Tania Latson because Tania Latson hasn't played a minute for South Carolina. Not going to say that. Not going to say Medina Ogott because she ain't played a minute for South Carolina. I mean, I ain't talking about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I ain't talking about the possibilities for players who ain't played a second for Carolina just yet. No Isla McDowell, no Ogott McCurry. We're talking about players who put in work. Players who put in work and who I believe is championship material. Chloe Kitts is our best player. Some folks don't like it. It's true. Some folks are like, yeah, Chloe need to sit down. Well, Chloe is our best player on this team. Offensively and defensively, she's our number one player. Chloe was the one getting all the accolades at the end of the season, this past season. Chloe is this season, Chloe is our best shot. If you don't like what I'm saying, please turn it off. Turn it off. Because this is the thing. Chloe is our best shot of a player making All-American this upcoming season. She's a projected top 10 recruit. Shouldn't say recruit. Top 10 pick in the WNBA draft in the 2026 WNBA draft. That's Chloe Kitts. She played 850 minutes per basketball game, 850 minutes for the season, for the cumulative season, which came out to being about 22 minutes per basketball game. I want Chloe to play more. If she's our best player, she needs to play more than 22 minutes. I'm just keeping it real. And those 22 minutes a game over the course of 850 minutes, Chloe almost averaged a double-double. You're talking about 10 points, 8 rebounds. Okay? Chloe shot 52% from the field. She shot 33% from three. Okay? She shot almost 80% from the free throw line. 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Chloe had an offensive rating of 120. Y'all know I love offensive rating 120 or more. I love it. But she also had a defensive rating of 80.0. That is amazing. That's amazing. And what's also great, because of even with the players that we had last season, the players we had last season we had 3 of which were drafted into the WNBA. Chloe Kitts had the highest win share on this basketball team. Mm-hmm. That was Chloe. She was terrific. And there was a substantial drop in production when Chloe sat on the bench. Chloe can't be playing 20 minutes in a 40-minute game. Hell no. That can't happen. She need to play more. So I don't want to put out APB out on Chloe Kitts. If she's our best, she need to play a lot of minutes this upcoming season. Number two, y'all know who it is. That's Joyce Edwards. Joyce Edwards came in, kicked butt, and took names this past season. Now she's a super sophomore and ready to perform at very high levels. She played 831 minutes this past season. She averaged 21 minutes per game, okay? She got you 13 points. She was our leading scorer. She got you 13 points. She got you 5 rebounds. She shot 53% from the field, 78% from the free throw line. Got you an assist, got you a steal, got you a block, couple of turnovers. Offensive rating was 115.4. There was a lot of mess talking about that Joyce can't guard. Well, for the course of the season, her defense rating is 82.4. That is great. That is great. Were there some times where there was some 101 defensive lapses? Of course. But for the duration of 831 minutes, Joyce Edwards was balling on the defensive end. And she had the second highest, win share on this basketball team as a freshman. Those 2 players in particular are going to lead this basketball team. Those two players got that All-American, in their DNA. Those two got first team all SEC in their DNA. It ain't far. It ain't, don't look too far when we're talking about the best players in the country. Two of them reside at the University of South Carolina, and both of them are forwards. I seen some mess that said like you should move Chloe to 3 and start Medina and Joyce. No. We don't need none of that stuff. No. Chloe never played 3. She don't need to play 3. She needs to play the 4. And the 4, by all intents and purposes, is not real in college basketball no more. She's really a big old 3 and a small 4. That's a small forward. I think she is. I really do. But Joyce and Chloe needs to start. They have to start. Yes, we got Medina Ogott. Yes, I think Medina Ogott is going to play well. But we got to play through those two players on offense in the post. And I think great things are going to happen with those two. I didn't say anything. I know great things are going to happen with those two players. Now, Cap, you was talking about Cap. Oh, okay. So we ain't never had a dominant big. We ain't had a dominant big last year, so that's why we lost. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think that had a lot to do with it. And then also a scorer like Tanaya Latson would have been very helped in this past, season. But I believe that Medina Ogott is going to play 20, 21 minutes. I think that she's going to play the same amount of minutes that Chloe and or Joyce played last season. Chloe played 22 minutes. Joyce played 21 minutes per game. I think she's going to do the same thing. Only thing different about it with her, I think she averaged a double-double last season, in SEC action. I think she's still going to average a double-double off the bench, if you will. I think that she is the missing link, if you will, to this basketball team. But when the ball rolls out in November, I want to see Chloe and Joyce playing beside each other. I saw some metric that said that Chloe is 6'3" now. I hope so. I really do. The final one we're going to talk about is Tessa Johnson. Tournament Tessa. Tea time with Tessa. All the cool nicknames for Tessa Johnson. Here's the thing for the 25th recruit out of Minnesota in the class of 2023, who's starting her junior year. Tessa played 783 minutes. Tessa averaged 21 minutes per game. So it's not like Tessa wasn't, playing a lot. Her role was different, but she played the same amount of minutes per basketball game that Joyce and Chloe played for the most part. She averaged 8 points per game. She shot 47% from field. She shot 43% from the 3-point line. She shot 83% from the free throw line. Tessa, if we just look at stats and efficiency, Tessa was dynamic last season. Tessa, real talk, Tessa has the ability to be that 90% from free throw line, 50% from field goal percentage, and 40% from, 3-point line. She did 47 and 43. She's on the cusp of that. She got you 2 rebounds, got you a couple of assists, got you one steal, 1 turnover. And her offensive rating was 117.7. Her defensive rating was 87.9. She had a win share of 4.0. Tessa, the only thing that lacks with Tessa is consistency. That's the only thing that lacks. Tessa Johnson, if she plays the same way she plays in the tournament, when she plays game 1 at the University of South Carolina, 3-time national champions, and when she plays against a subpar team, you're going to see better versions of Tessa Johnson. You could see an all-conference in Tessa Johnson. The way these 3 players mesh together is so important because Tessa will be starting. She will be starting, and she will get a substantial amount of minutes. She goes from being a secondary option to one of the go-to options on this basketball team. I want more shots. I want now she Tessa didn't play terrific defense. She played good defense last season. She gonna be getting the toughest perimeter defender this upcoming season. She got to step into that role that Breezy Hall did so well. She got to step into that role that Bree Bill did so well. Now, this is the difference between Breezy and Bree. Tessa Johnson is better than both of them. She is a better basketball player than both of those players. Those two players play awesome defense. Would Tessa play that great of defense? Not sure. But for this basketball team on the upcoming season, if she plays the defense that she's played the first two seasons, that's good. That's good. But I want Tournament Tessa to turn up in November, December, January. This is what I want. I want her to let them know who she is. I really do. And I believe she can. The strengths of those three players and the way they play off each other and complement each other, you got something special for this upcoming season. And you have, if those three players ball out the way I know they can ball out, regardless of opponents, because it's not even about opponents. It's not about UConn. It's not about LSU. It's not about, Texas and UCLA and Southern Cal. It's not about those Notre Dames, Ole Miss, all those different basketball teams who play so well. It's not about any of them. It's about us. It's about us. We play the level of defense. We don't play 13th in the country in terms of defensive rating. We will be hanging up the banner next season. Our 3-point percentage goes up from last season. We'll be hanging up the banner next season. If Tanaya Lasson is as good as I think she is, and Medina Ogot I like saying that, bees that presence that I think she will be, we're going to raise the banner this upcoming season. The girls just got to do it. The girls just got to do it. You got our support. Win, lose, or draw, you got our support. But I believe this team right here is going to be legit. I believe this team right here is going to be special. I believe this team, when it's all said and done, will be raising the banner in April. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I can continue to bring the gospel Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're not rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.